This conference will now be recorded.
Very, very important. See, there is IT table. There is IT table. Let's say which has 100 ways types. There is IT table and which has 100 ways types. In that, 30 of them added to 1B01. 30 ways types. Okay, 50% of the amount. So 50 ways types added to 1B01 or 1B02 or 1B01 is 1B01 with 30% of amount or 40% of amount of basic pay. The remaining 20 not relevant in this calculation. Remaining 20 not relevant in this calculation. There are 100 ways type in IT table. I need to write a PCR. Okay. So in that 100 ways types, 30 ways types are added to 1B01. Okay. 30 ways types are added to 1B01. 50 with the 50, so not basic pay. With the 50% of amount on this one. Just with the 50% of amount. Clear? So 50 ways types, 40% of their amount added to 1B01. 20 ways types not relevant in this calculation. But tell me, how do you write this rule? How do you write this rule? How do you write the rule at with the second level? At second level, anyone? You write this rule with a GEN or specific ways types. First point, is it a generic rule or ways type specific rule? Anyone?
Generic and then base type query.
We can query the waste type. We can query waste type. That's what he said. First,
Yes,
if the
yes.
naming followed, if there is a naming followed, we can make use of naming. But we don't define a naming for this simple calculation. We don't define the naming of a waste type for this simple one calculations. Payroll means there are hundreds of calculations. Okay, but let's say there is a naming followed. All 30 waste types started with the 2B series. All 50 waste types started with the 2C series. Okay, and all other 20 waste types started with something else like 2D, 2E, like this. Okay, so tell me, how do you write the rule? These waste types are, let's say, 2B012, 2B30. This is 2C012, 2C50, the 50 waste types. This is 2E012, 2E20, 2E012, 2E20. Okay, how do you write the rule now? Tell me.
We use VALEN for 2 characters and then we query waste type. In case of 2B, we will add 50% to 1B01. In case of 2C, we will add 40% to 1B01. In case of 20, we will just keep as add waste type star.
So we need to call the waste type operation. Without waste type operation, how do you do it? How many waste types you need to call? First point, without waste type operation, can we write this rule? Without waste type operation, can we write this rule?
We can write, sir, but we have to call all the waste types.
We have to call all the waste types. How many entries? How many entries?
I think all the 100 entries needs to be called.
No. That's what I wanted to understand with the waste type operation and generic and everything. If the waste type operation is not there, you need to call this 30 and 50 only. Totally 80 entries will come in the PCR at second level. After employee subgroup grouping for PCR, you need to call 30 waste types and then 50 waste types. Totally 80 waste types you need to call. The remaining 20 not relevant anyway. The remaining 20 not relevant. Clear? So totally 80 entries will come. 80 entries will come. Okay. So you need to write the rule like this. Star, it's not a generic waste type rule. It is a specific waste type rule. Okay. You need to write rule like this. Star 2B01. Okay. 2B02 like this continuously you need to write. And the operations are move this waste type to output table. Okay. And amount percentage 50 and then add WT 1B01. So apply the same logic for all the waste types. Clear? And then here 40% for this 50 waste type, you need to use 40% over here. Second, with waste type operation, how do you write it? With waste type operation, how do you write it?
we can use VALEN 2 and then query waste type for
Yeah,
2B.
first tell me without with waste type, no valen. What is advantage? How many entries will come? Array, the system I need to refresh. I don't know if it is working or not. I'm using the waste type operation. So what should we do? How many entries you need to write here?
Static. I think we can call here 30 plus 20 50 waste types, and for other 50 waste types we can write under star star star.
Okay, perfect. Try. So 51 entries you will get.
Yes, sir.
Is there a way that I can reduce it even?
We could use this variable key.
Is there a way that I can reduce? See, first write. If all other waste types, let's say all other waste types are starting with the 2E series only. In this example, first I will call 2E. 01 to 2E20. Okay, 2E01 to 2E20. No, this is not the right way. And then I call a waste step again, and then 20. No, we cannot reduce it. That's it. You need to maintain minimum 51 entries. Okay, 51 entries. See this? What he said is write 2B01, 2B02, 100 to bit 30 here, and then 2E 01 to 2E20. And all remaining goes to 4 stars. All remaining goes to 4 stars. Okay, that means what? It is 2C. It is 2C series. Then we can apply this logic here. And here 1B01, 2B01. Okay, this is 40%. And for all 2B01, what would we do? We maintain 50%. Okay, and for all 2E series, no adding, just move them to the output table. So totally how many entries would you get? 51 entries. Okay, we will get 51 entries. But what is the drawback of this rule? It is huge, right? Calling a 51 waste types, it is not a right solution. Calling a 50 waste types here, it is not a right solution. Suppose if you are creating some other waste types, you are creating other waste types, new waste types with a naming, 2D or 2E, 2F, 2G series. All that waste types goes to 4 stars. Some of them are not relevant in this calculation. So then this rule will be failed. Every time you create a new waste type, and you have to also manage this PCR. You have to modify this PCR accordingly, right? Okay. And the drawback is here naming is not required. In this, naming is not required. If you're calling in this way, see this, you are already calling all 50 waste type relevant here. So in this, naming is not useful. Okay, the naming will be useful only when you call VALEN. The naming will be useful only when you call VALEN. Otherwise, the naming is not useful here. We are not using the waste type naming. Okay, we are not using the waste type naming. We are calling 50% of the waste types and we are applying operations. And we are calling the waste types not relevant in the PCR. Okay, and we are just sending them to the output table, which is 2E series. And all other we are keeping in 40%. All other we are giving in 41. So 51 entries here. So it is little better than without waste step operation. Clear? Okay. Without waste step operation, you will get 80 entries at a second level. With waste step operation, you are getting 51 entries. You are getting 51 entries here. Okay. Let's say Valen, waste type with Valen with a naming. Okay, waste type Valen, waste type operation with Valen operation. Let's see how many entries will you get. How many entries? VALN, 2 digits, waste type operation. How many entries will you get? 2B, 2C. Here the naming is useful. In the previous example, naming is not required. The number can be anything. So here, if it is 2B series, if it is 2B series, if it is 2C series, okay, anything otherwise? Go to output table. So is it a generic rule or a waste type specific rule? Anyone? Should we insert this rule as a generic rule or a waste type specific? What is that?
So it's type specific.
But what we are calling in the second level? So when I ask that question, you need to look at the second level. Are we calling a specific waste type in the second level, or are we calling all waste types?
All waste types.
Then it has to be generic, right? So it is a generic waste type, but here you are using a waste type operation, and the naming, you are querying the naming, which is the first 2 digits of the waste types. Now, what is the drawback of this rule? What is the drawback of this rule? First, naming is required. The waste type naming is required. For generation of one waste type, 1B01, we cannot use the naming for the waste types, all the waste types in the client. Okay, all the waste types in the system. We cannot follow the naming for simple one calculation. Let's say there is a similar calculation in another PCR where you will have to have further bifurcation of 2B series. For example, 2B series itself, there are some entries 50%, some entries 40%. Then the naming will not work in the second rule, right? So for one calculation, we cannot define the naming of the waste types. That is the first drawback. Okay. Second drawback. If you are creating a new waste types again, if you are creating a new waste type, okay, then you need to take care of this PCR. Suppose by any chance if you create that new waste type with the 2B series, it goes here. If you create with the 2C series, it goes here. The client may not require this calculation for the new waste type. Okay, but you didn't follow the naming and you created some waste type with the 2B series, some waste types with the 2C series, and those are executed here. Then you need to write an exception here. For example, if I'm calling to be 90. I'm creating a waste type to be 90. If it is there in the input table, okay, definitely this would be executed, and which the client doesn't want. Clear? Then you need to write an exception here. Again, under this, you need to call when the PCR is incorrect. What you have to do? System creates an issue, then you need to look at this PCR, and then you need to call waste type again. To be 90 and otherwise. Okay, to be 90, I don't do anything. Just move it to output table. I'm giving exception here. So every time you create a new waste type with this naming, you need to verify this rule. Is that new waste type affecting this rule or not? Okay, first point. Second point, in 2C series, there is a waste type. There is a waste type 2C15. Okay, and that should not be added to 1B01 effective from May 1st. What should we do? So far 2C15 is added to this waste type. So far, effective from May 1st, 2C15 is not added to 1B01. What should we do?
You have to compare the period.
So here, before you apply that calculation, okay, CMPER 1702, if it is lesser than and equal to okay, equal to, I'm not doing anything, sorry, not equal to, put star, means equal to and greater than. Okay, now what will happen if you write it? You are applying this calculation. You are applying this calculation for all 2C series waste types. But my requirement is what? Only for 2C15. Right? Only 2C15 waste type should not be added to 1B01 effective from 1702. Exception? Okay. Clear. Look at this. If it is 2C, okay, it comes here. Check the waste type name again. If it is 2C15, and add it into B01 based on the validity effective from date. Otherwise, directly add it. These kind of changes are common in payroll after live. This kind of, you might create a new waste type, or you might want to change the logic of existing waste type. Okay, and you are completely depending on a PCR. For one waste type change, see how much rule. The rule became bigger, right? Let's say going forward, okay, there are changes coming to these waste types one by one. How do you make this rule? You need to make the changes number of times, right? 5 CRs, 5 changes in this rule, and 5 CMPR operations effective from date settings. So this rule becomes bigger and bigger, and so the more bigger it is, the sensitive it is. Clear? Okay. So that is the drawback of this waste type with the Valin operation. We cannot follow the naming. First thing, we cannot follow the naming in every scenario. Second thing, even if you follow the naming, you will have to write exceptions. Okay, going forward, you will have to write some exceptions here. Okay, because the new support consultant may not follow this naming and create a new waste type, and that waste type is executed here because it's a generic rule. Okay, or if the client is changing the logic of existing waste types, then you have to put effective from date for one waste type or a specific waste types. Okay, so you cannot follow the naming. Then what is the solution? Okay, for this kind of scenarios, the solution is here. No naming is used. Okay, so it has its own drawbacks. You can write this rule for now to manage the, to manage it for the time being. You can follow any one of this approach, but none of these are right approaches. And I told you the drawbacks. Okay, and that's where the processing class has been introduced. Okay, that is the purpose. The drawbacks that we have discussed in all the 3 examples previously. Okay, and that's why the processing class is used. That's why the processing class has been introduced. A processing class is a 2-digit number. A processing class is a 2-digit number. It has the specifications. Each specification is a single-digit character. Every processing class has a specification. Like a function has a parameter, a operation has operators and operands. Like processing classes have a specifications. When the specification is a single-digit character, when the processing class is a 2-digit numeric code, how many maximum you will have? When the processing class is a 2-digit numeric code, how many maximum you can have?
99.
Only you can create. If the specification is a single-digit character, how many you can create?
9. 0
I
to
say
9.
it is character.
Oh, sorry.
See, there are 10 numbers. Okay, 0 to 9, and there are alphabets 26.
26.
And there are special characters also can be specifications, like hash symbol, hyphen, greater than, less than, equal to, open bracket, closing bracket. That will be around 20. Okay, so above 45 specifications you can have for a processing class. Okay, what is the purpose of the processing class? you see you are applying, okay, take this first case, the same set of operations you are applying on 30 wave steps. Yes or no? Same set of operations you are applying on the 30 wave steps, 2B1, 2B01 to 2B30. And the same operations you are using on 50 wave steps, 2C01 to 2C50. Okay, same operations, right? You are using same operations repeatedly for the 50 wave steps, and here using the same set of operations, okay, for 30 wave steps. Remember this. So here the purpose of the processing class, okay, it is simple. It groups the wave steps which have a common processing in a rule. It groups the wave steps which have a common processing in a rule with specification. Or in other words, you can say the processing class specification represents, okay, a set of wave steps which have common processing logic in the rule. Common processing logic or operations in the rule. Okay, or you can say another way, the processing class determine, okay, the calculation rule or processing logic. In any way you can say answer. Okay, so it is usually used when there is a common processing first. Do we have a common processing here? Right? What is that common processing? 30 wave steps you need to use this operation. Okay, one logic. Remaining 50 wave steps you need to use this operation, another logic, second logic, and the third logic. The remaining wave steps you need to use only one operation, which is ADDWT start. So how many processing logics we have here? Only 3, and you are applying on how many wave steps? How many wave steps?
100.
100 wave steps. You are applying on 100 wave steps. Okay, so number no need to be 100. It can be 100, 150, 200. Okay, you can have a number of, okay, n number of wave steps. But totally how many logics we have in the rule? Okay, I call it as a logic, but you can call it as a business rule or calculation. Okay, anything. Totally 3 only, right? Okay, some set of wave steps 50% you need to apply. Some set of wave steps 40% you need to apply. Okay, and some wave steps are not relevant. Some wave steps are not relevant. Okay, now all this 2B01 to 2B30, you can group the, okay, you can group them with the specification A. 2C0 into 2C50, you can group them with the specification B. Okay, and you can group them with the specification C. So A represents 30 wave steps, B represents 50 wave step, C represents 20 wave step. That's what I said. It groups the wave steps which have a common processing rule with the specification. Or processing class specification represents the set of wave steps which have a common processing logic in the rule. So how does it work? How do we see it practically? The processing class is created v underscore t52 d1 table in v underscore 52 d1. Create processing class and t52 d2 to create specification for each processing class. And you have to have a PCR or a function, okay, PCR or a function to define calculation logic for each specification. Okay, either a rule or a function. If there is a processing class, remember that if there is a processing class, there would be a rule in the schema or there would be a function behind this function that queries the processing class. Either a rule or a function must be there. So without a rule or a function, there is no processing class in the system. Processing class in the end, definitely there would be a PCR or there would be a function in the schema. Clear? Okay. So what we do with that function or a PCR, we define the business rule, business logic for each specification of this processing class. Okay. Next, the last step. Okay, maintain specification processing class specification to each wave step. Maintain processing class specification to each wave step. Okay, as per the requirement. So these are the 4 steps of a processing class. Okay, so I would show you practically how does it work and what are the advantages with the processing class and why SAP has introduced this concept. Okay, now so 01 to 99, I said right, processing classes. In this, remember it, usually 0 to 59 or 89, this one 0 to 89 SAP standard, 90 to 99 okay, user defined or client specific. So we can create a new processing classes, okay, when we have this kind of scenarios with a number between 90 to 99, okay, and 01 to 89 are standard. 01 to 89 standard. We cannot delete them. We shouldn't delete them. Okay. If you want to add a specification, you can add them, but processing classes must not be deleted. In this 01 to 89, 01 to 59, global definition. Have a global definition. 99% of the times. 99% of the times, 01 to 59 is common for all countries. So that's what is a standard SAP payroll solution. 01 to 59 is a standard international payroll. Okay, common for all countries. For example, 01 processing class is used for the rates calculation. In every country, it is rates calculation only. Processing class 10 is for the proration. In every country, it is proration only. Okay, processing class 30 CRT table updation. In every country, it is CRT updation. So 0 to 59 are global definitions. The purpose is common in all the countries. Okay, now 60 to 69, 60 to 69, 89, sorry, 89 are used for country specific calculations. Are used for country specific calculations. Clear? Okay, country local, I mean any social contributions, tax calculations, okay, pensions, etc. So 60 to 89 use it for the localizations. Okay, 01 to 59 are global scenarios. Understood? 90 to 99 within our client specific, we can create client specific. So that means there is no rule that 01 to 89 will be used in all the countries. Okay, there is no rule that 01 to 89. For example, 087 and 08. I've never seen 07 and 08. Okay, and 14, 15, 14 processing classes. Okay, so don't think that all 89 processing classes are there. We have a very less. We hardly need to remember 15 to 20 processing classes. Okay, 15 to 20 processing classes and their rules and the purpose. Okay, and the rules and the purpose. Clear? So let's create a processing class tomorrow and understand the why exactly SAP has introduced the processing classes and what are the advantages of it and what is the benefit of it. Okay, so we can write a rule. We can write a rule with a processing class, with a waste type naming, same requirement, with a waste type without naming. Okay, and we can write this rule with specific waste types. But which is the best way for the requirement? You need to decide. Okay, all the scenarios processing class is not required. All the scenarios waste type is naming is not required. Clear? And for all the scenarios waste type is not required. Some cases this is the right solution, some cases second one is the right solution, some cases third one is the right solution. In this example, fourth one is the right solution. I picked this example just to explain you the processing class. Okay, so we will be using all four methods. We'll be using all four methods depending on a scenario, and which method is the best method. Okay, you need to decide first. You need to decide this first. So all these four scenarios clearly analyze. You analyze, then you will feel easy to work on these processing classes. Okay. Any question in this? So tomorrow you will understand the benefits of it. How to create a processing class, custom processing class. Okay, how to create a custom processing class and their role and the specification. So catch you tomorrow.